Good morning, everyone. Hopefully you can see and hear us okay. If you are watching us live, feel free to say hello. Even if you're not watching us live and you're watching us retrospectively, feel free to comment. Last of the draw-alongs for this term, where we've been focusing on exotic birds, and today we're going to be studying the beautiful pink flamingo and learning all about this amazing species as well. Hi Eden and Susie, thank you so much for joining us. I'm assuming that means that audio is all okay. So I know that somebody asked somewhere, I think it was last week, what colour pencils I was using out of my Castle Arts tin, because they might have the same tin. So I'm gonna read out the numbers. I've just grabbed the colours that I thought I'm likely to use. It doesn't necessarily mean I will use all of them, but I'll read out the colours in a moment so that you've got access to them. Jacob says hello. Hello Jacob, thanks for joining us. So the colours that I've got from my tin are number 18, number 20, number 32, 33, 81, 175, and then black as well. So hopefully that will help whoever it is that has got the same tin of pencils I have. Hi, it's our first draw along. Hello, is that Maren? Have I said that right? Or is it somebody else on your Facebook profile? Let me know if you would prefer me to use your name. Otherwise, absolutely fine. Thank you for joining us. Welcome. So, good morning from Florence as well. I feel like we've got new people today. That's awesome. So, if you are new, it's a really relaxed draw along. I don't like rules. I don't believe in rules. I know they exist, I just choose to ignore them. So this isn't a strict how-to. This is more a, look, this is how I draw. Here are my tips for you. But with art, the beauty of art is that there's no right or wrong answer. There's all different approaches to it. It's about us just drawing together, having fun, looking at animals and learning about the species as well. Thank you, Pip. That was me. I'm picking out my colours now from Abigail. I'm glad it helped. What is your tin called, as in the brand? We've got a new colouring set, but it's still not the right colours. We got Castle Arts. Hang on, let me see if I can get to the front of it. Michael, can you move that tray of pencils for me?
Yeah.
Just so I can close the lid in. So it's Castle Arts, and it's 120 watercolour pencils. I've got quite a lot, although I tend to use the same like 10 over and over again. It's a tin with a great big peacock on the front of it, if that helps anyone. And I quite like the brand. Hi for Steph, and yes, that's correct, Moran, and the child. Awesome, thank you so much. So I am going to be drawing from this reference picture, which was in the discussion tab of the event. Michael's chosen a completely different reference picture. So again, if you're new to this, my learner Michael is next to me joining in as well. And he wants to draw a flamingo showing it standing, whereas I want to focus on the head. So it's entirely up to you what you want to do. And I think what I've done, because I could have worked in portrait or landscape on my page, but I've zoomed in a bit to my image, and I think it will work better landscape. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Hello from Ria and Warris as well. No, it's a busy one today. So, should we get sketching just to begin? And because otherwise I could talk for England and nothing will actually get started, will it? So I'm going to try and fill as much of my page as possible today. So I'm almost going to crop off a part of the image so that I'm really filling the space, and I'm cropping it off just as I can see it on my screen has been cropped off as well on the device I'm working from. So I'm going to make sure the beak and the head are in and in focus, and then we've got the curve of the neck in as well, and I'm going to focus on some of these big feathers we can see as well. So yeah, it's cropped off so that I can really try and use all of my space today on the page. Make it a really dramatic image. This is a cool image to work from, I think, because it's so vibrant with the colours. Almost coral in colour, so it's not quite just pinks. I see coral colours in there as well. We're going to learn a bit about all of why flamingos are pink, in case you already didn't know. I know a lot of people probably already know, but we're going to share that information and learn a little bit more about the species as well as we go along. So I'm sketching in some of these main feathers so that I can really focus on detail in this illustration today, whereas Michael's going, are you drawing the whole flamingo in your illustration, do you think, Michael?
Yeah.
So he's challenging himself by drawing a different reference picture. Hello Holly as well. Ours is Zenacolour, it's a tin of 72. I've not heard of that brand. Joe says good morning. In case anyone missed it, Pip's using the Castle Arts watercolour. Am I right in thinking, Joe, you've got Castle Arts as well? And are you joining in today? Again, I apologise in advance. I'm still really bunged up from this illness that we've had, so I do apologise if that picks up on the microphone at all. And it irritates me when I hear people sniffing. And I'm apologising in advance in case I do it to you guys. And as I've got the main shapes down now, I can sort of go in and focus on getting a little bit more accuracy with the form, make sure I'm happy with the shape of the head as I go, and then start sketching in some more details, ready to add tone in a bit. And this fabulous bill, we're going to get in as well. And then when I've got the main details down, I'm just going to stop and share some more facts about the flamingo, give you a chance to sort of get some sketching done whilst I natter on in the background. Yeah, Jo has got the castle arts and she's joining in today as well. Awesome. I'm quite pleased with how that's looking so far. I think that's a good initial sketch. I didn't need to restart too many times, which is pretty good for me. He just said, just looked on Amazon for it, £50. Yeah, it wasn't a cheap set. I would say Castle Arts is a really good brand, but you don't necessarily need 120 of them. I barely use more than the same few over and over. So if you are looking to get a good set of watercolour pencils, but you don't want to break the bank, I would recommend Castle Arts, but maybe getting a smaller set of them. So Jo's having a bit of a dilemma. She's torn between using the watercolour pencils or using pastels. Decision. I'm going to say use the pastels because I just want to see the contrast between watercolour and pastels, and I think pastels are really good for vibrant colours, and so I think this is a particularly good image to work from for bright colours, being able to work in pastels. Oh my goodness, what's going on? Woo, just bashed the camera. So I'm so sorry, I just got to blow my nose. So sorry if you hear that. Oh, it just never ends. Okay, so a couple of facts whilst I give you a chance to do some more sketching. Oh, my screen's locked out. I've lost my image. So, flamingos are famous for their bright pink feathers, their stilt-like legs, and their S-shaped necks. There are 6 flamingo species, and they are the greater flamingo, the Chilean flamingo, American flamingo, lesser flamingo, Andean flamingo, and James's flamingo. That felt like more than 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was 6. Whilst most flamingos aren't endangered, the Andean flamingo is listed as vulnerable, and the Chilean and lesser and James's flamingos are listed as near threatened, with their biggest threats including habitat loss because of human behaviours and severe droughts due to climate change. They aren't born pink, although we associate them as being pink. They're not born pink. If you've seen a baby flamingo, do you know what colour a baby flamingo is, Michael?
Grey.
Grey, yeah, they are. So they're very cute. They're born very fluffy and grey. So whilst they're instantly recognisable with their bright pink feathers, stilt-like legs and long necks, newly hatched flamingos have dark grey feathers known as downy feathers. And it takes several rounds of them molting, so losing their feathers and growing new rounds, for the young flamingos to get their characteristic pink colour. The bill gradually curves down as the flamingo matures. Both parents, mum and dad, take care of the newborn flamingo, feeding it a fluid produced in their digestive systems. The young leave the nest after about 5 days to join other young flamingos in small little groups, like little nurseries effectively, returning to their parents for food. The parents identify their chick by its voice. After about 3 weeks, the adults herd young flamingos into large groups called creches, where they start to look for food on their own. Flamingos, so this is how they get their pink colour, they absorb pigment from foods that are rich in carotenoids, like algae and brine shrimp. This pigment is then deposited into their feathers as they grow, giving their plumage its famous pink hue. Colour is one of the things that flamingos look for when picking a mate because it shows greater access to food. So the more pink a flamingo is, the more attractive it becomes to potential mates because it shows that it can find food and is doing well. A bright pink flamingo feather will slowly fade to lighter colours after it's been shed. It's interesting, isn't it? Holly says she's going to be using, I'm sure it's not Holly, I'm sure it's a different name, but you're going to be using your pastels today, so I look forward to seeing that. Bean and Bud say hi. We saw 5 out of the 6 species at Slimbridge Nature Reserve last week. Wow, that's really on theme. We just didn't see the James's flamingo. That's really cool. What was your favourite? Joe said about the watercolour pencils. They do come up on offer somewhat frequently, and I think buying them directly might be cheaper at the moment. Faber-Castell, yes, they're another good brand, but I also like Derwent Inktense watercolour pencil range too. Yeah, Derwent are really good as well. Okay, I think I'm ready to start going in with some colour already, because I'm really pleased with the form I've got on my page. I don't want to muck around with that too much, because I'll probably just ruin it. So I'm just going to neaten up some pencil lines, and then I'm going to start shading, I think. So I'm going to start, we've got this really little beady pupil, and then we've got a palish pink eye. It's almost like salmon pink, isn't it? And there is a highlight as well, so I'm going to leave that there. But I'm going to go in with slightly darker as well, I think. I think I'm going to be using number 18, which is peach. I think I'm going to be using that quite a lot on this illustration today. And there is a shadow on the lower part of the eye, so I'm going to put that in as well. And then again, it's almost like a skin going around his eye, and then down to the beak, so that's all pale pink, and then it goes much brighter on the feathers. Bud says that his favourite flamingo was the lesser flamingo. I'm going to challenge you more now and ask, why is that? What was the difference? What made it stand out to you? Just out of curiosity. I'm not testing you, I just genuinely would like to know. So I'm going to, you notice I will be rubbing out some of my pencil lines as I go along, because otherwise they're very difficult to get rid of later. So obviously I do it as I go, step by step, so I can remember what I was doing. I'm getting the base down, and then I will be going in with some details, because when you look at this sort of skin that this flamingo has around his beak and eye, there's like wrinkles and details in there, so I want to add them in a bit. And it does fade out quite pale as well, so it starts pink, but it then becomes almost white in areas. And now Mark's blowing his nose. So between us, we're doing well today, aren't we? Oh, I think I'm going to enjoy this one today. I think this is I like the really strong shapes and forms we've got. How are you finding it so far, Michael? Good. I think this will be a good one to end the term on. So we take a little break next week. So we're no Drawalong next Monday, but we return the following Monday with our new theme, which is sharks. So another challenge, because it's animals that are in water, and drawing them can be quite difficult, but it's good to push ourselves outside of our comfort zone. And we've got 5 different species of sharks that we'll be looking at. I think this is going to be my favourite this term, you know. It's feeling good. I don't want to jinx it. It's feeling like a good start, strong start to the drawing. Do you prefer doing a section of the image than the whole one? I think I do. I think from this study alone, I'm liking this close up rather than trying to get the whole illustration done. I like being able to sort of focus on details more. So yeah, I think this is definitely the way I'm leaning at the moment. And I'm going to use the black really softly to create a little bit of shadowing that we see on this side of the bill. You could use a blue tone really there, or grey tone. Bean said about the lesser flamingo because they're so small and they were bossing the other flamingos around. Yeah, I think that would probably be my favourite for those reasons then. Sharks are really cool from Florence. Yep. We've got, I don't know if Joe can remind me, what sharks are we doing? I think we've got a nursing shark, a basking shark, hammerhead. We're not doing the great white, and that's purely because we've already studied the great white. So if you wanted to do great white, and if you wanted to draw next Monday, if you check out our YouTube page, you should be able to find it on there. So if you search Drawalong with Pip, great white shark, you should find it. Hopefully I've already uploaded it. And that means you don't have to have a break in our draw-alongs, because you just catch up on the great white that we did before, sometime last year. Oh, well done, Joe. So it's a hammerhead, tiger shark, wobbegong, which was a whole new thing for me, the nursing shark and the whale shark. So nice variety there. Some different shapes and forms. The wobbegong is completely different in terms of texture and colour. So that's going to be a challenge as well. I'm dreading that one. It's not going to be easy. I think that might be on par with when we did the octopus and I nearly gave up. It nearly broke me. Get some of these darker details down now on these other lines that we can see. Might save some of these finer details after I've added the water, so that I can just draw them on afterwards when the paper's dry. I think I'll add a bit of water now, then move on to the feathers, and then come back to these finer details in a bit. I'm not overloading my paintbrush too much because I really want vivid colours. I don't want to water them down too much, literally. I want to keep the colours looking strong. idea, Michael?
Good.
Deep in concentration in this house right now. I'll do the black last because obviously that will, if that crosses over with the pinks, it's going to impact the colour. Oh dear, that was a bit watery and that's bled into the pink, which was exactly what I was trying to avoid. So we'll fix it, we can fix it. And he says, I've given up, oh, Florence says, I've given up using pastels, I'm going to try something else. Fair enough. It's all a learning process, isn't it? It's good to try these things though. Just deep in concentration at the moment because I want to make sure that this bill looks really sharp and neat with the colour. How are we doing for time? 20 not too bad, not too bad. Okay, so that's the beak done. I'm quite pleased with that. That looks actually, it's quite striking. I'm going to share some more facts with you. Hang on a second before I blow my nose. So, both male and female flamingos have sweet dance moves. For many bird species, it's normally the males that put on grand displays to attract a mate, but flamingo courtship rituals are more egalitarian, with both male and female flamingos taking part in a special dance. Like a flash mob, they'll come together in large groups to show off synchronised dance moves, such as head flagging, wing salutes, twisting, preening, bowing and marching. Most flamingos only stay with their mate for the season, so other birds like that we've studied recently, like the lovebird and the lorikeets, they tend to mate up for life and they have the same partner for life. Flamingos don't. They will mate and partner with that particular flamingo for that season, and then that means that the party season starts all over again the next year and they find themselves a new mate. They exchange. Flamingos are social creatures that live in large groups of varying sizes, sometimes gathered by the thousands. These elegant groups are known as a stand. So a stand of flamingos when they are standing around, but it's flittingly called a flamboyance when they're dancing. So flamboyance flamingos. They live in a wide variety of habitats, such as lagoons, estuaries, coastal and inland lakes, and mudflats. These habitats often have harsh conditions, including very salty water that few other species can thrive in. This works to their advantage as there's less competition for the crustaceans that they prefer to dine on, so there's less competition for the food sources. They are omnivores, so they eat plants and animals. Obviously, they eat crustaceans. A group of flamingos generally is called a colony of flamingos. They can grow between 36 to 50 inches tall and can have a wingspan 60 inches wide, and they weigh just under 9 pounds in weight. When a flamingo spots potential dinner, their favourite foods include shrimp, snails, and plant-like water organisms called algae. They'll plunge its head into the water, twist it upside down, and scoop the fish using its upper beak like a shovel. They're able to run on water thanks to their webbed feet to gain speed before lifting up into the sky. They build nests that look like mounds of mud along waterways. At the top of the mound, in a shallow hole, the female lays one single egg, and the parents take turns sitting on the egg to keep it warm, and after about 30 days, the egg hatches. Cool facts. Right, I need to get this vibrant pink down for the head of the flamingo. The main wing feathers we're seeing are a paler pink, but certainly for the head we have got very, very bright, almost coral colours going on here. So I'm going to start laying that colour down now. I want it to be as vibrant as possible, so I'm being really generous with my shading here. I'm not going too light because I don't think that would be accurate. Remember to keep looking at your reference image though, because there are spots that are darker, there are spots that are lighter, some spots that are more vibrant with colour, and others that are a little bit more watered down. So you just want to keep checking in with your reference picture to make sure that you're getting that accurately down. And again, as I go, I'm going to rub out some of these lines so that they don't show through afterwards. Got a little bit of light reflecting on the top of the flamingo's head, so I'm going to try and keep them highlighted as well. And that will, again, my white gel pen will probably come in handy once the paint's dry for showing those highlights. How we are getting on, guys? It's got very quiet in the chat box. I'm assuming that means that it was deeply focused at the moment. building the tone by sort of going over with a couple more layers. Buds is brilliant, but I'm finding the proportions quite tricky. That was bean. Are you focusing on a small area bean, or are you trying to do the whole flamingo? That's another reason I like to focus on a small area, because then there's less to get accurate on terms of the proportions. There's less to have to think about. Okay, that's the colour down for the neck, and then I'm going to put some colour down for the feathers. Go over. Now that I've said that, I'm going to use the water on here, and then that'll give it time to dry, so that I've got time again to add on more details in a bit. So I'm going to do that first of all, and then focus on the big wing feathers. Yeah, because as I've put the water on, I feel like the colour is just, it isn't quite vibrant enough yet, so I definitely will want to work on top of this if I've got time. Oh dear, I went out of the line then. Bean says doing the same as you, but can't get the neck to look right compared to the beak, and wherever I put the eye it looks a bit deformed. If you're struggling, Bean, you can always trace it. I don't regard that as cheating. I think that's being resourceful. Realise I need to add a little bit more texture. It's not a perfect smooth line. You can see the feather lines at the top. So I'm just going to add that in. Same as on the head. I have to go back to the head and do that, I think. Yeah, I might, but it looked like it would be quite simple with the shapes, but clearly not. Sometimes we just have off days. Bean, I know I certainly do. The octopus, for one. That will haunt me forever. I'm going to do what I don't normally do when I'm drawing live, but I do this a lot when I'm drawing on my own. I turn the page because I just find that sometimes it works easier that way for me. Lee says, I think I'll try again, but on a fresh bit of paper. What part would you recommend to start with? I always start with the eye. I don't necessarily know that's the right thing to do, but that's just how I tend to work. And sort of work out the proportions from the eye outwards, maybe. That might be a way. now I've got to go in with these paler pink feathers. But there are some details in there that I need to get in as well, so I need to make sure I do that. Again, I'm going to try and rub these pencil lines out as I go, otherwise they will show through as an outline, which I don't really want to have on my illustration. I am deep in concentration today. This has made me go very quiet. I'm sorry if that's the silence is deafening. But I'm really enjoying this one today. Are you finished, Michael?
No, I'm waiting for it to dry.
Yeah. Can I please see Michael's drawing?
Yep, I'm just about to finish it. Done.
You finished?
I don't like it really.
No?
No.
This is Michael's. He went with a different reference picture and showed the iconic standing on one leg flamingo. I like it. I think you've got the proportions quite good. What's that in the background?
Beach huts.
Nice. So somewhere exotic.
Yeah.
Well done, Michael.
I don't like it.
No, you always say that though.
Yeah, because I never like them.
You're looking forward to doing the sharks next term though? Or do you think that's going to be tricky?
I know a friend who loves sharks, so maybe they could join.
Yeah, were they homemade as well?
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
absolutely obsessed with sharks.
Well, definitely one for them to join in
And
with.
they're
Them.
addicted.
Just getting some of these main feathers in, and I'll probably almost like fade them out a little bit because I won't have time to do. Yeah, looking it up, I won't have time to do too many of them, unfortunately. But obviously, you guys don't necessarily have the time limit that I've got on myself. feel like this is the best lot of feathers I've drawn all term, because it is not something I find easy, as we know, if you've been following along. And actually I feel like whether it's this reference image is making it easier for me to see things, I don't know. Something's clicking into place for me with them. I'm keeping that really light pink hue on these feathers. Georgina said, thank you, Michael, I love it.
I don't think I love it.
I think we're all guilty of doing that though, aren't we? Looking at our own artwork and going, oh no, I don't like this, and then other people come and look at it and go, what are you talking about? It's really good.
Do you think I'll finish early again?
No. No, because I wanted to get some more details in on the feathering on the neck and everything, so I think I will be using up the time today. Thanks for the tip. I like what mine looks like now, Bean. Awesome. I'm glad it worked. I don't have all the answers. I can just give you my general advice and hope for the best. Right, so all the base colours down now, so I can start thinking about adding a little bit more detail, maybe some more shadowing and darker tones and highlights in the 15 minutes we've got left. Plenty of time, loads of time. Ollie's art teacher says there's no such thing as good art and bad art, only art you like and art you don't like. That is a really good way of looking at it. Just like it's not a maths equation, you can't have a right or wrong answer with art, and that's why we like it. So, right. I might put some more vivid colours down in the bill. You're making some strange noises today, Michael. I don't know if they're picking up on the microphone.
And it's my bike at my neck as well.
Yeah, it's irritating. Stop
Every
doing
time I
it.
turn my
He's
neck
cracking
though.
his neck. It's driving me mad.
I'm not cracking it, I'm turning my neck and it does it.
Harley has to go now. She said thank you and see you in a couple of weeks. She will share her drawing this afternoon. Yes, again, because I know that we've got some newbies in this week. If you would like some feedback from our art specialist Joe, if you check out our main Technology Triumphs page at 1 o'clock, there will be a post and it will be a picture of my drawing, and that is inviting you to leave a comment with your picture, and then Joe will come along and write some feedback, giving you advice on how you can improve your artwork for next time, and then also highlighting what you've done particularly well. But you need to do that as soon after 1 o'clock as is possible, and definitely before 3 p.m. if you want some feedback. But the sooner you can put it on, the better for Jo. It makes her life a little bit easier. drawing pencils around now. So I'm going to try and get some of this feather detailing in to show texture. So it's short feathers on the head and neck. So I'm just doing that by drawing short little pencil lines in a slightly darker pencil so they show up. Penny paper is still a bit damp, which makes it a little bit trickier for me to do, but we will try. This is the other problem with working to a time limit, is that you're sort of restricted with what you can do if the paint's still, if the water's still damp on the page. I'm getting a crampy hand. It's because it's cold in this room, I think, as well. Not helping. I may even go in very tentatively with the black pencil here as well. Your colouring is great, Pip. Thank you. My scribbling, do you mean? I do tend to do that. So there are some areas where you can see some slightly darker tones. So I'm just going to very tentatively go in with a black pencil. I don't want it to be too harsh. Oh, see, this is what happens if the paper's still wet and you're using watercolour pencil. It brings out a much stronger colour, which is not what I wanted. I don't know, I'm going to have to figure out a way of fixing that. How can I fix that? Can I go over it? No, that's not going to happen. Can I water it down a bit? Probably not. There we go. It's not so harsh now. There we go, we can see the textures building with each layer of detail now. You can get an idea of what that would look like and feel like in real life now. And it adds depth. It just makes it look a little bit more alive and real. Let's see if the gel pen's going to work on me today. Get some of the white highlights as well. So you've got dark highlights and light highlights as well. You probably can't see it so well on the camera, but I can, and this definitely does work to add sort of like light shimmering, reflecting off of the flamingo's feathers. And again, it's looking like feathers, short feathers rather than just a block colour now. get a little bit of a move on if I want to add some more detail on the wing feathers as well. Oh, and I said I wanted to put those wrinkle lines in, didn't I? So I need to do that quickly. Again, it's another bit of different contrast and texture you've got on the flamingo, so I want to add that in. Now, what am I going to do with these feathers? I don't want to do too much because they are quite pale. I am going to brave it. Should I? No, I'm not going to do it with the black. I'm going to go with the darker pink just to highlight some stronger pinks in the feathers where you can see they are darker or slightly more salmon colour. Just going to emphasise that and I hope that gives it a little bit more depth. Jacob says, thanks Pip, this drawing session has made me happy. Oh, I'm glad. I've been really pleased with how today's one has gone actually. Sometimes there are days where you just think, oh, it's just not going well. Today was not that day. I feel like we've ended the term, the Drawalong term, on a bit of a high. And that's awesome. Just going to put a couple more darker tones in and then I think I'll wrap it up as well. I don't want to overdo it. When things are going well, sometimes you can sort of overwork a picture and suddenly it's not going so well. Water on that bit. See the pencil lines. I've got hair on my picture. Oh no. I think I'm quite pleased with that. Might just add a little bit more detail down here on the neck. And I think we'll wrap it up for the day. I think I'm in danger of doing that overworking of it and ruining it, so I don't want that to happen. Just going to do a little bit of black on a couple of the feathers just to make them stronger. Ooh, not too strong. Like that. See, this is where it all goes wrong now. Oh, she's done it again. I am really pleased with that. I think that was a really good way for us to end the term. Don't forget to sign the picture and date it, 2025. And that, I think, is the end of our draw along for this term, ending on Flamingo from our exotic birds collection. Can you remember what we drew, Michael? No, none of them. So we did a lorikeet, we did a macaw, we did a lovebird, we did a bird of paradise, and we've ended on our flamingo, which I'm really pleased with. And I think this is definitely working where we focus each term on a different set of animals, because it now enables us to really sort of focus on building those skills. I hated drawing feathers. I'm still not a huge fan, but I can see that my ability to draw feathers has improved over the last 5 weeks, so it definitely helps us to build those skills for sure. Joe says, well done everyone, cup of coffee for me, and then I'm ready for feedback. Yeah, my stomach started talking to me, so that's definitely telling me it must be lunchtime. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining us. Like I say, we've got a week break next week before we come back and we start Shark Week or Shark Term. But if you didn't want to have the break next week, if you check out our YouTube channel, then you will find a great white on there. And if you don't want to draw a shark, there's loads of other ones on there. If you've not been with us since we started a couple of years ago, there are dozens and dozens on there. So have a look through and see if there's something for you there. So thanks for joining us. Hope you have an awesome rest of the week. Hopefully this has set you up nicely. And we will see you the week after next when we start our shark journey. See you later, everybody. Bye. Bye.